Hey guys, welcome back to the show. And on this episode, I'm going to be talking about one of the most realistic, futuristic movies that I've ever seen. And by that, I mean most of the time that I was watching this movie, I kept saying to myself, yeah, I can see that happening. It's Zardoz. Now, Zardoz takes place in the year 2293. And you're probably thinking, Mark, that's over 250 years from now. How could you possibly predict what things are going to be like by then? Well, I can't. But think about this. Judging by the way this year has gone, we can't even predict what's going to happen next month. So, pretty much anything is plausible in my opinion. Zardoz was directed, produced, and written by John Boorman, who, at the time, was going to adapt The Lord of the Rings for United Artists. But then I guess the studio was like, yeah, that's gonna cost a lot of money. So John said, fine, I'll make this instead. Just as good. So the movie starts with the floating head claiming to be Zardoz. Now I'm gonna have to double check my sources on this, but rumor has it that this is what inspired the DVD screensaver. So Zardoz claims to be a fake god, which doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, what kind of a god has to draw on his facial hair with a Sharpie? Fans of Rick and Morty will recognize the floating head of Zardoz, which comes down to Earth and starts speaking to its followers. Apparently, tribalism is rampant in this version of Earth, where everyone is divided into factions. See, look, the movie's already predicting things that are happening right now. There's the Brutals, who grow food for the Eternals, and these guys, the Exterminators, who follow Zardoz, steal food from the Brutals and kill them, and then give the food to Zardoz in exchange for weapons.
The gun is good.
Apparently, Zardoz is a lobbyist for the NRA.
The gun is good. The penis is evil.
As well as a writer for Jezebel.com. And here we have Sean Connery as Zed, one of the Exterminators, and as you can see, the Exterminators have a very specific fashion sense. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is ridiculous. This outfit is never going to be fashionable, especially with that hair and that mustache. Well, again, like I said, if 2020 has taught us anything, it's that anything could happen at any time. We could be dressing like this next month. And right now, it's really hard to be optimistic, so I'm gonna try and be as positive as possible. I think we could all try that, So looking at this, looks great. Looks fantastic. I love it. And you know why? Because, well, it's very practical. You're gonna have maximum flexibility in that outfit. Good airflow. And I like the boots as well, because they go up really high, which means that they will prevent your shins from getting dirty. So Zed sneaks into the giant floating head and hides in the grains. Inside the head is a bunch of food and people sealed for freshness. Then Zardoz appears, but Zed doesn't know who this guy is, so he just shoots him.
A bomb! A pointless! A pointless!
So the giant head lands in some kind of little town called the Vortex, and Zed looks around there for a bit. Then he stumbles upon a novelty condom factory and runs into May, an Eternal who uses her mind powers to zap him. And she's like, you must have come here in the giant head because that's the only way in here, and you're obviously not an Eternal. So yeah, this is basically a gated community for the high class. Anyways, May and Consuela start watching his memories of murder and rape inside of what I can only describe as looking like some kind of 1980s cocaine spa. So Consuela is like, yeah, we gotta kill this guy, he's bad news. But May wants to keep him alive and study him. So from what I gather, Zardoz is an Eternal named Arthur Frayne, whose job it is to keep the Brutals under control, and he does this with the Exterminators. But this is what I don't really get. The Brutals are the farmers. They're producing food for the Eternals. So why would you want to kill them?
Terribly exciting.
But the suffering.
Oh, you can't equate their feelings with ours. Just entertainment.
So the Eternals can watch it like a TV show? Is it a scare tactic to keep them in line? I mean, I get that, but at the same time, they can't produce food if they're dead. I guess, again, looking on the bright side, At the very least, this movie does predict a future where reality TV is much less scripted than it is today.
We have adequate means of controlling it. Surely we are not so vulnerable.
Look at it. It knows its life is at stake. Otherwise it would rape and kill, as it always has.
Yeah, and I think we should also get some chairs in here, too. Just saying, maybe we could budget for a few chairs in case some people would like the option of sitting during these meetings. Couldn't hurt.
You can see the disrupting effect.
Let's keep it.
Yeah, let's not get crazy, okay? Have you seen the videos of its memories? Not good. I just think maybe there's something in between killing it and keeping it as a pet, you know? Maybe we could make it work for us. Maybe it could build things like chairs, or even just one chair. Okay, I'm just gonna fill you in on what's going on here with these people. So these Eternals have this form of artificial intelligence called the Tabernacle, and it prevents them from dying. So they never die, they just live forever. And I guess since they just have everything, they've become so bored that they stopped procreating and just spend all of their time on a search engine. I mean, that's starting to hit a little close to home, but okay. There's even a group of people that have become so bored, they've fallen into a catatonic state, and they're referred to as the apathetics. All right, this is getting kind of scary. So they take him into this room, and Consuela has her own little sex ed class, where she talks about how they don't know how men get erections because nobody has had one in so long, because no one cares to have sex. Oh my God, how bored would you have to be? Just sex? No. This is like the most depressing movie I've ever seen. So then they show him some porn, and Zed gets an erection in front of everyone, and they all start clapping. This would be such a conflicting situation psychologically. I could just imagine this mix of emotions, you know? At first, I could see this as being pretty embarrassing, but then after a few seconds of applause, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I guess it is pretty nice. I made it myself. So they all have lunch, and Consuela gets in an argument with May because she wants her to finish her research and kill Zed. And you gotta watch this one character's reactions.
Time enough has gone to finish your study, May. Destroy it.
I can't. It's not the Rona. So they all vote, and the funny thing is, they cast their votes telepathically, so I don't understand why some of them are making all these different hand signals. And every single one is different. Why? It's a yes or no vote.
May has been given 7 days to complete her study. Then Zed will be terminated.
That's right. 7 days, Zed. 7 days. Hello, can I speak to, Z? By the way, they've got some nice fruit here. Watermelons, pineapples, which brings up the question for the comments section. Pineapple on pizza. I'm gonna make a big statement here. I'm a fan. Not all the time, but on occasion, you throw a little sweetness on there. There's nothing wrong with that. It's delicious. Very tasty. So go ahead and like the comment for whichever team you're on. I'm gonna post 2 comments, one for team yes pineapple and one for team no pineapple. Should be self-explanatory. So anyways, the group shakes their hands at the one guy and make him pass out with their thoughts. And this is the point where Zed is like, all right, I'm out of here. And I think it's funny that that's the thing, you know, that's the last straw, right? He saw the lethal jazz hands and was like, all right, I gotta get the hell out of Dodge. This is crazy. So he tries to run away, but he's stopped by an invisible wall. That's right, Zed, you're stuck in a bubble. So it's kind of like Biodome, except that it doesn't make you want to kill the main characters. I remember when I was a kid, I loved that movie. And then I went back and watched it like 10 years ago. And some things you just gotta leave behind, man. You know? Leave them in your memories. Don't touch them. Don't open that box. It's not fun. So it looks like Zed is stuck in this place, which, again, looking on the bright side, trying to stay positive, you've got the only boner in town. And a highly praised one at that. A lot of guys, such as myself, would be killed to be in that position. You will be laying so much pipe, you will put plumbers out of business. So it turns out they didn't kill the guy with their jazz hands. They just artificially aged half of him and stuck him with the other people that they aged. And that's kind of the punishment here at this place. Since they can't kill you, they just add years to your life. So instead of being, 30 for the rest of eternity, now you're 80, which would suck. Anyways, May gets Zed under a bedsheet and then tells him to tell her all about his memory of when he learned to read. And that's when he learned that Zardoz was all a sham. Zardoz is just like the Wizard of Oz. Oh no, it's all fake. Oh man. Oh no. What a bummer. All it took was some convenient finger placement. And that's when Zed was like, all right, I'm gonna hide inside of this giant head and find out what's really going on here. So I guess Arthur Frayne had this plan all along to create Zed, teach him how to read, enrage him with the knowledge that this whole thing is all smoke and mirrors, and get the exterminators into the vortex so that they can kill the Eternals and they can all finally die. Then Consuela and a bunch of the Eternals are like, okay, that's enough. We really gotta kill this guy. And this is amazing. I mean, these people have all these telepathic mind powers which have proved useful against him in the past, but I guess they're no match against him throwing a bag of flour at them. So then the apathetics all start making out with each other and start trying to have their way with Zed. It's like a kind of Coachella situation. So they destroy the tabernacle and the exterminators come in and just start killing everybody. And they're like, yes, death! Finally, we can stop being bored! Consuela falls in love with Zed, which I find it kind of funny. I mean, how many relationships do you know start off like that? I know so many where either the guy or the girl, usually it's the girl who's like, oh, I can't stand that guy, I hate that guy, and then like a month later they're dating. And now we see years of family portraits which get more and more grotesque until they're just skeletons. I guess they really enjoyed sitting in the exact same spot. Here's the thing about this movie. I think it had an interesting plot, but it could have been executed better if it had a bigger budget. When this movie came out, initially it wasn't very well received, which comes as no surprise, but I would suggest that maybe it was just too ambitious for the time. Again, this is one of those movies where I feel like there's a seed of something really interesting. It's just that the way it was fleshed out didn't really do it justice. I wouldn't consider this a horrible movie by any means. At points I found it a little bit hard to follow, but overall it was definitely weird, which I always find intriguing. So as usual, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all next time.